Hey, Tommy from the Run Testers with a monthly roundup. This is the video where we talk about all the kit that we've tested over the past few weeks that we haven't been able to talk about in other videos. So let's dive in and see what items we've picked this month.
Now, I love a good 2-in-1 short, but they can sometimes feel a little heavier than your other kind of regular running shorts. Now, these Innovate TrailFly Ultra 7-inch shorts manage to strike a happy balance between giving you that sort of longer traily feel, protected sort of longer leg feel from a twin short that looks after your dignity, but you've also got a light, comfortable, really flexible fabric and a nice simple cut here. The liner shorts inside aren't too compressive, but they stay put and they give you that locked in bulletproof feel. You can also get away with a smaller sort of regular running brief underneath if you've got preferred running undies. There's good storage here too. You've got one zippered rear pocket that will holster a big kind of iPhone, as well as my 15 Pro. You've also got a couple of sort of stretchy mesh side drop-in pockets. I kind of wish the stash belt went all the way around. It looks like it does, but the front bit isn't, sadly not. They've also got a fluorocarbon-free DWR coating for extra protection against the wet, but they also dry pretty quick if they do get wet or you get a bit sweaty. I think the thing I love most is how they hang though, with a good length that's not too tight, not too baggy. This is a great versatile short for everyday runs where you need to carry stuff and for hitting the trails for longer adventures, ultras, those kind of things. Another pair of shorts I've been using recently and really loving a lot in training are these ASICS Fujitrail 7-inch shorts. These are incredibly lightweight. They're lighter than the Innovates. The outers are made from this really thin, stretchy, perforated fabric that's really flexible. That freedom of movement is boosted by some really quite big side splits. That's all good if you've got chunky thighs like me. There's a liner brief here that I'm not so fond of. It's one of those kind of pant-like ones, but I'll tend to layer these over my trusted running undies, and they're nice and light, so you can do that. There's also a really nice sort of toggle waist, so you can adjust the fit, and you don't have to worry about the drawstrings coming out that sometimes happen in the wash, or they disappear and you can't get them back. The zippered pocket is a little small. It won't fit my iPhone 15 Pro, but it will fit smaller phones. I like the fact that the zip on this has a proper toggle to it. There's no faffing with it's got a small zips when you've got cold hands or tired brains. And the rest of the waistband also has lots of drop-in some stretch mesh pockets here, so there is plenty of built-in stash space in a really, really lightweight short. Regular viewers of the channel will know that I hate being cold. I've said that loads before, so I'm a big layers person. I'm always on the hunt for tops that can kind of flex my warmth quickly and easily in the UK's changeable spring, summer, winter weather. Particularly light layers that I can stick in a pack when I'm heading out on big day-long adventures that won't take up too much space or weight. And this North Face Summer LT Sun Hoodie is one of those versatile tops that can double up as a run pack backup layer for longer adventures on the trails, or it also works nicely for post-run protection from the cold, in fact, or the sun. It's actually designed to protect you from the sun. It's got fast-wicking UPF fabric that acts as a thin and airy UV barrier. It's got long sleeves, it's got a nice roomy hood, it's got a really baggy, airy fit that's made to layer on added warmth when the sunset chills kick in. This is a good top to have at the ready when dusk comes on ultras, where you want a bit of extra warmth, but you're not ready to go full nighttime gear yet. Really good one to stick in a pack for that.
If you're a fan of the channel, you'll know that I wear a lot of caps. I don't have a lot of hair, so I tend to wear caps in the summer to protect my head from getting burnt. But I also wear caps in the winter as well to keep the rain out of my eyes. So I've got loads and loads of caps. I've probably got like 40 caps which I use. And I've got to the point now that I use different caps for different type of runs, and I know what caps those are and which I prefer. So I'll have caps for when it's cold in the winter. I'll have caps for race day that I want to be really light and sweat wicking. And this cap from Buff, so I haven't used a cap from Buff for quite a while. They used to have a really good one which basically rolled into a ball and you could stuff it into your pocket if you didn't want it on anymore when you're out on a run. But it wasn't a very nice looking cap. It was it bounced back into shape after you'd taken it out of your pocket, but it looked a little bit like a swimming cap. It was quite head hugging. Whereas this new one from Buff is the Buff Speed Cap, and it is basically just a really lightweight cap that is very comfortable to wear. You can also roll it up pretty well. It sort of stuffs into a pretty small shape. But the real reason I like this cap is because it really dries off very, very quickly. So if you're out running and you sweat a lot, if you take this off, it will dry pretty quickly. Or if you leave it on and you stop running, the sweat will wick off of it pretty quickly, and that is the sort of cap I look for when I'm running in the summer. It's a very light feeling cap on the head. It's very comfortable. It's got this sort of it's not a cottony design. It's like a very papery feeling design, which is very, very thin, which is presumably the reason why it is so good at wicking sweat off. But it's just a great all-round cap, very comfortable, well worth getting if you want something really light for the summer, especially if you're maybe racing and you want something that's not going to just clog up with sweat and feel heavy. So that is the Buff Speed Cap. My next pick is the Tracksmith Van Cortlandt Tee. Now, this has been around for a while. It's one of the Tracksmith classics that is always on the website. There's lots of different versions of it. It's the first time I've tested it, and the reason why I'm putting it in this is because I'm really enjoying wearing it. I have a lot of Tracksmith kit, and what I'd say about some of it is that this sash design, it's like a classic sash design that they have on a lot of their clothes. Sometimes it's a little bit too noticeable for me. I don't really like to have a big bright sash on my top. But on this version, it's really subtle. So it's sort of a lighter blue sash across the darker blue. So that's one thing I like about it, the fact that it's a more subtle colourway. But the main reason I like this top is that I am quite well built up top. And I quite often find running t-shirts quite hard to fit me. From certain brands, I tend to have to get quite bigger sizes. So for things like Soar, I tend to get large. And when I get large in Soar, it doesn't fit me quite perfectly. This is a medium, and I find that it's very relaxed around the waist and the stomach area, which I like. But also it's not too baggy around the arm sections, so it holds onto the arms quite nicely. It's not too loose, and that's how I like my t-shirts to fit. And I found that this t-shirt really works well for that, and I'm really enjoying it. The other thing about this is that the material that it uses is this sort of lightweight material, and it really does a good job at keeping you dry. I've just been out for a run up some hills, and I was sweating quite a lot, and it dries off quite quickly. So it's quite a good performance level one, but also it's a really nice looking one. It's quite expensive, but it'll last you a long time, and it's a really good quality top. And it comes in 5 different colour versions of these, so you've got lots of different options for it on the website as well. So that's the Tracksmith Van Cortlandt Tee. My final pick this month are these Lululemon Pace Breaker 5-inch lined running shorts. Now, I've never owned any Lululemon running kit before, and I was a little bit skeptical when I got them, just because I normally associate Lululemon with yoga and fashion. But over the years, they have increasingly moved into the world of running and produced more and more performance-based items. So these shorts are running shorts. There are a couple of different versions of these. So these are the lined versions. So they have a liner that goes all the way down the legs and gives you a little bit of support on your legs, and basically stops your legs from rubbing together if that's a problem you have. Sometimes my legs rub together and I get a little bit of soreness, but it just rubs my skin a little bit and it's not very comfortable. So I tend to wear liners all the time anyway, and I much prefer nowadays wearing 2-in-1s that have liners in, so I don't have to worry about wearing liners separately. So these shorts have this liner in. I would say that these shorts I've been using quite a lot for training runs. They're a little bit thicker than what I would wear for race day. So normally I would wear the Soar race shorts for race day. They're very, very light, the Soar ones. But they don't have any pockets in or anything like that, apart from a small pocket in the back. These ones are much better for training, because you have 2 pockets either side, really quite deep pockets. So if you go out for a run, and I wouldn't put stuff in these pockets if I was on the run, but if you go out for a run and then you stop running afterwards and you go to the shops and things like that, you can put your stuff in these pockets absolutely fine. They're just like normal shorts. But the nice thing I like about these is, if I can find it, it's also, as well as those 2 main pockets, it also has a zipped pocket that, on the right hand side, so you can put things like keys and your credit card and stuff in those when you're running, so they don't fall out. And I found it to be very good. There's plenty of space in this pocket, and yeah, you can store a few little bits and pieces in there. There's also a draw cord on these, so you can tighten them a bit. I don't really need to use that. I find that elastic is absolutely fine. I've never had to tie the draw cord, and it does have some like ventilation bits in the back, which I've not really noticed. It's quite minimal. It's like a line of ventilation in the back of the shorts. So I don't think that's the best feature of it. But overall, they are really good, comfortable. Lululemon kit is very, very good quality. but they're just really comfortable for those sort of training runs and things where you just want something that feels really nice, and you're not necessarily looking for the lightest shorts out there for race day. So as a training pair of shorts, these are great. And also, I would say that a lot of the shorts I've got, running shorts, I don't tend to wear for things like the gym because they're a little bit short, or they're not as relaxed fit as I normally wear at the gym. I normally like to wear a bit baggier shorts in the gym. These are great for the gym as well. I think they're sort of a good balanced training short that you can use for running in the gym and other stuff as well. So yeah, that is the Lululemon Pace Breaker 5-inch shorts. There are some longer versions as well, but I tend to always go for 5-inch when I go for shorts.
So my first monthly pick are a pair of headphones. Now, I have tested a bunch of different running sports focused headphones over the month, and I think these are the ones that have really stood out for me, and I think ones that people are going to want to know about. And I think I best describe them as a little bit like the Shox Open Fit, which are pretty expensive, but ultimately these are going to give you a similar kind of performance for a lot less money. So these are the Sivga SO2, and I've tested the Sivga SO1. Really like them. As I said, really affordable kind of alternatives to something like the Shox Open Fit. So they're kind of smaller, truly wireless style earbuds. Now, in terms of what you're getting here, you're getting an air hook design. It has slightly changed in terms of that design, so they're no longer kind of fully rotatable air hooks, but I think in general the fit still is very good. It has shrunk a little bit in size as well, which I think was definitely one of the criticisms I had of the first one. So they've gone a little bit lighter, and I think that is a positive thing. They have dropped the physical controls, so it's now touch controls, which I think if I was racing, I probably wouldn't opt for these earbuds, but I think in terms of general running, the touch controls are good enough. And then that kind of overall sound, as I said, it's an kind of open air style, air conduction style, so wearable speakers placed just beside your ears, not inside of your ears. And I think, personally, I think the sound quality is up there with what you get on the Shox Open Fit and some of those more expensive open ear headphones. It's really balanced, overall really enjoyable. You don't have the ability to kind of customize that sound, but ultimately I think that sound out of the box is very good. And crucially, when you're out battling wind, when you have got a lot of other noises around you, I think it managed to retain that very good sound quality as well. Now, in terms battery life, you are getting probably around kind of up to 10 hours. I found kind of an hour's worth of running, and I like a lot of these kind of open ear headphones. If you listen to them a little bit louder, the battery drop off is a little bit more. So I generally listen a little bit louder. I found the battery life was probably kind of a drop of 10% from an hour's worth of running. So that kind of, the battery numbers do add up there. So yeah, ultimately, I think if you are looking for an alternative to the Shox Open Fit, it's going to cost a lot less money, still give you that really good fit, reliable fit, maybe slightly bigger than the Open Fit in general, but gives you really impressive sound. I think, open ear aside, I think they just sound very good to run with. Then the Sivga SO2 are well worth checking out. So my second monthly pick are a pair of socks. Now, I find like discovering a good pair of running socks are a biggie, because I think, it's going to be something that, without much thought, you can throw on. They're not going to be beaten up after a couple of runs. And, these are a pair I think are going to be ones that I can do that with. So these are the Darn Tough, and these are their kind of crew lightweight running socks. Now, what I like about these first and foremost is that they just look like normal socks, and I have been able to just wear them casually, and that's kind of a nice little bonus there. I guess if you're going away, you just want one pair of socks to use, then these feel like they can be those socks. Now, they're predominantly designed for trail running, and I get that because in terms of you look at the materials, it's predominantly kind of merino wool, so something a little bit thicker in theory, but I think ultimately when I've used them, and I haven't really done any trail running, I've been using mainly for road running, they've been absolutely fine. I was worried they might be a little bit on the thick side, but it doesn't really feel like that. It kind of has that look, but ultimately they work very nice, and I haven't felt overly tight wearing them with road running shoes. And there are other materials in there to make sure you get those kind of elements of what you want from running socks. So, making sure there's a little bit of stretch, a little bit of support in the right places in the sock as well too, and also that it doesn't sag as well. And I put them through the wash and they've been absolutely fine. And the main thing for me is they don't wear at the toes, which is generally what I find with some socks. That's the first sign that you get a lot of wear when you've kind of used them regularly, and I haven't really seen that in my month testing these socks. So yeah, a really nice find for me. I think people are going to like these socks as well. As I say, not predominantly, while they're predominantly for trail running, I think you can use them for all types of running. They'll be absolutely fine. So these are the Darn Tough crew lightweight running sock.
That's it from the monthly roundup this month. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that little bell, and check the channel out for all the other videos we've got coming up. If you go into the caption below, you can also find a link to our podcast, which comes out a couple of times each month. Catch you next time.